Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core 4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, what is happening, everybody? Hello, welcome to another episode of the Complete Fitness Podcast. This is episode 104, maybe 105. Either way, thank you so much for watching or listening today. I have a little bit of a head cold thing, whatever it may be, going on today. So for me, it sounds like I'm in a fishbowl. I hope for you, besides me being nasally, this sounds okay. But I got weird volume control. I don't know if I'm screaming right now or if I'm too quiet. So I hope it turns out all right. We'll just muscle on through like we often do. Thank you for watching. If you are new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe, give us some feedback, however you see fit. If you are new to just listening to the podcast in general, please subscribe wherever you are listening. Like us, give us a review. It'll help us grow, which is our goal, of course. Core 4 supplements, guys. I got 2 of them out today. Vanilla frosting, whey protein, twisted candy, pre-workout out today, guys. Just showing you. Core4supplements.com to get your supplements, whatever they may be, to help you stay happy and healthy, and then, of course, to fuel you so that you can work out and kick ass and take names. Promo code podcast on our website, guys. Save 10%, and then if you spend $99, you get absolutely free shipping. I got an awesome topic I want to talk about today when it comes to moving our body and training. So oftentimes, for me personally, when I kind of fell in love with the fitness world, I really became obsessed more or less with just moving. It was never, for me, it was never like the cool show muscles, the big biceps and the lifting things and a heavy bench press. That was never my jam. I liked doing things naturally, moving the way that people should. That's when I kind of became fascinated with everything in the fitness world, was when I really went back to like all of our ancestors and the way that we're supposed to move and the way that we did move. And you do things like look at footages of babies, and babies crawl and babies use their neck, and then babies squat, and all babies can just squat, ass to grass, as they say, with their heels flat on the floor. And, you learn over time, we just kind of lose that ability to do it. And it makes you think, why this is who we are. I don't think a little baby, whatever, lion, as they grow up, they just don't roar anymore or don't run anymore, or whatever they did when they were babies. They still do. So why are we all limited in everything that we do? Why do we have muscle breakdown? Why are we losing, our ligaments and tendons? Why do they weaken if we don't do things? And that's what really inspired me to become, to move myself and become a more fit person, because I've explained on this podcast before that I was not that way. And not so much the aesthetics of it. I never really had the idea of I wanted like that big upside down triangle body. Not that that's not cool. Do your thing. That's cool. Being real strong is awesome, and I of course would love to be too. But that's never been my main focus. The reason I bring that up is because today's topic is talking about getting those results while doing those functional movements, and when it's important to do them, and when it's important to continue doing them after you no longer want to. So if you have ever worked out with me personally at the gym, I will say this: 90% of my workouts that I'm coaching, at some point throughout the workout, I will say a sentence that goes along the lines of, these are the money reps. These are the reps that count. This is why we started. These are the ones that make the difference. This is where results are happening. Things like that. And it is a motivational tool when we're on the microphone and coaching in our format of classes. But it's also very true. I'm not just spitting bars. I'm saying and reminding people that those reps you no longer want to do is where the most muscle breakdown is happening, because you're working with that fatigued muscle. So you're breaking it down even further, which is going to increase those results, right? So that's what happens when training. You break down your muscles and then they repair. How you're repairing it has a lot to do with your nutrition. But then they repair, and when they repair stronger, and then you break them down again, they repair stronger, and over time the muscle builds up. In the meantime, that fat is going bye-bye. And that is it in a nutshell. That's like the most layman's, dumbed down way I can think to put it. But that muscle breakdown is what you're feeling when you're tired, when you're doing push-ups and you can't do one more. You're really burned out. You really fired up those muscles. That's what you want. Now, if you think about it, if you're going to do a bunch of push-ups that are like a quarter of the way where they should be or half of the way they should be, and you do 100 of them and you feel that muscle fatigue and breakdown 100 reps in, okay, that's a lot of wasted time. And if you did a full range of motion push-up, maybe you did 10 and you felt that muscle breakdown, you felt that fatigue. That fatigue is what we want. That's what we work towards. Oftentimes, if you are not familiar with fitness and don't understand how it works as far as losing weight or gaining muscle, that's a sign. It's kind of a natural sign to stop doing what you're doing, right? If I'm doing squats and all of a sudden my legs start to feel crappy, so all of a sudden my squats become shallower and shallower, and we avoid those painful reps, if you want to call it that, those tired, those challenging reps, we're screwing ourselves out of those reps that we earned, right? We're screwing us out of the money reps. That's why I call them the money reps, is because that muscle breakdown is kind of hot. You got to strike while the iron's hot. And when you got them, I'm not saying, you got to do stuff till you puke or you're not going to see results. That's absolutely not true. But push hard to get those reps in once you're tired, and really try to work till failure on certain movements and certain things and certain times. Now, before we go too far, I just said a very important little tidbit there. Till failure. You should not be going till failure every single time, every single movement, every single exercise that we're doing, especially in our type of circuit. If we're doing a 30-minute circuit and we go through something 4 rounds, like today's workout, we got a 45-second interval with a 15-second rest, 5 different movements, and you go around the room 4 times total. If from start to finish you're burning out and going till failure every single day, it's a lot. I mean, it's really going to be damaging your body. It's not really sustainable. It's something that could lead to injury and overtraining. Choose wisely. But you should be picking weights that the last 5 to 10 seconds in that interval pattern are challenging. And every round, all of a sudden, it's the last 15 seconds. Okay, now it's the last 20 seconds. And you're kind of mentally connected and understand, man, I did those 40-pound dumbbell thrusters for those first 3 rounds, and I know that 3rd round was a bitch to get through. That really kicked my ass. It was hard. So this last round, I'm just muscling through it. That is an example of what we want to be feeling. More times than not, the reason I'm saying this is I'll see people picking up the same weights in here, knowing, my thruster weight, that's 15-pound dumbbells. That's my thruster weight. And it's like, well, it's been 3 years that's been your thruster weight. And so now I'm starting to think that you are not improving, right? And that should never be the case. And then I think, well, what's the difference between improving and not improving? Is it dietary? Is it this? Is that? It's not challenging yourself within the interval, right? And the best way to do that without picking up your pace, or there's 2 ways to do that: picking up your pace, challenging yourself to get more reps in when you really don't want to, those money reps, when you get that muscle breakdown, pushing through to get them done anyway, or increase the weight so that those money reps creep up faster. Because if I did a strict press with 5 pounds, I could maybe do 100 before I'm dying. That's way too much, I gotta be honest. I would be fatigued way before that. And if I hold 40-pound dumbbells, there's not a chance in hell I'm gonna make it to 100 strict press. So there's 2 ways to meet in the middle. If I'm trying to move for 30 seconds and challenge myself, I can really pick up that pace to try to get to 100 with the lightweight as fast as I can, or to the point that's going to get me to that threshold. Or I got to pick up the weight and keep the same pace, or maybe even go slower, but really feel that muscle breakdown. So that is kind of the first part of what I wanted this podcast to be about, how important those money reps are. You spend a workout doing it, or you wake up early in the morning, 5:30, 6:30 in the freezing cold. If you're here in Michigan, that's what we're battling through every time we get to the gym. And then we get here and we don't take advantage of our time. We get a little sweat going. We feel ourselves moving. All the next thing you know, it's the fourth round and you go, okay, that wasn't so bad. And then you just leave. Every workout, you should be tired at the end. You should leave sweaty, fatigued, want some water, want to take a break. You should jump in your car, drive home, and enjoy that 10-minute, 5-minute, wherever you live, in proximity to the gym, to just kind of settle down. Then you should want something to eat. You should feel yourself needing that protein shake or whatever you decide to eat before you can kind of just go back into life. If you're able to complete a workout and then just go immediately do something else, it might be a good sign that you have not given everything to that workout. And why we want to do that is taking advantage of our time, of course, so that we're not having these missed days of training where it feels like, weeks go by and you go, man, I've been here every single day. I'm not seeing the results that I want. The only one who knows that is you. From a coach perspective, every time you walk out, you could walk out sweaty. But if you're like me, you sweat immediately. I sweat instantaneously when working out. And some people don't sweat at all and really work hard. So we don't have a tell is what I'm saying. We can watch you move. We can see a grimace on your face or a challenge or notice that you're picking up a heavy weight. And we can kind of try to empathize and figure out what you're doing. But more times than not, it's on you. It's we can help move you and get you motivated, inspired to move. But if you're not staying deep in those squats after you don't want to, if you're not staying with that heavy weight after you don't want to, if you're not going to a modifiable version after one round or after a half of a round just because you knew it was a little uncomfortable last round, you're in jeopardy of slowing your results dramatically. So that was kind of the two-parter. The second part I wanted to kind of piggyback on. I'm drawing a blank now on what it may be. So strength training, a lot of times people will think, and this more times than not, based with our clientele, what we do here at our gym, it's more women than men, and more women than men have this fear of getting big. I don't want to get huge arms. I don't want to get huge quads. I don't want to get strong. I don't want to get muscular. And the thing I say to people now, having done this for a while and kind of getting used to it and know how to not offend people, I'll say things like, it's not an accident. Arnold Schwarzenegger just didn't wake up one day and go, oh, what the hell happened? I didn't want to be giant like this. It's years of committed life into a gym and strict routine and diet to get everything else and other things, to get the physique that he got. It's not accidental. So ladies, if you're worried about picking up a heavier weight because in your mind, you think that means heavier weight, means bigger muscles, means after 2 workouts, I'm going to have these giant Popeye arms. That's absolutely false. And all it's going to do is lead to that breakdown more, which is going to aid in the fat loss, which is going to aid to the muscle growth, of course. But it is not a direct correlation with giant, bulky man arms, as I've had women tell me they want to avoid. So, and you also can't skip exercises. Like one lady didn't want to do bench press because that's kind of like a traditionally masculine exercise. She's like, I don't want big pecs or something. It's like, that's not. But it's one of the larger muscles in the top half of your body. So we're breaking down those muscles, which aids to the fat loss and everything else that your goals are. It's why we squat. A lot of people come in and they say, I just want to get abs going. So they think they got to do a bunch of sit-ups. We know that's silly. It's not so much that you need to build abs. It's you need to reduce what's in front of those abs. And they go, why would I squat to do that? Legs are the biggest muscles in our body. That's more breakdown from a bigger surface area, bigger muscles in our body. That means more repair. That means our body's going to be fueling and burning all of the extra stuff. And when we replace it and fuel it correctly with high proteins, healthy carbs, vegetables, fruits, vitamins, nutrients, minerals, you're going to be kicking ass and taking names. And you're going to start removing that shell that's in front of your abs that you got. And then, of course, on top of that, we're also going to do some sit-ups and stuff, or what have you. So I wanted to tackle that. I thought this would be a good, opportunity. I don't think we've talked about this in the podcast. Like I said, this is 104 or 105th episode. So we've talked about a lot of things. We're going to talk about a lot of more things. But I think it's good to kind of circle back if we did mention it long ago, or if this is a completely new topic on this podcast. It's something that I'm passionate about because I'm here every day coaching. Our trainers are here every day coaching. The programming I make, and I know Corey, of course, does, and the whole Milford crew, if you are a member of our gyms, a lot goes into the building of the workouts. It's not just doing stuff we haven't done in a while. It is that we like to mix it up and keep it fresh, but it's targeting the big muscles that's going to give you best bang for your buck, because you're here for a 30-minute workout. And if it's going to be 30 minutes, it needs to be worth your time. However, all we can do is set it up for you. And if you're not pushing yourself and challenging yourself, again, it's not every single time you pick up a dumbbell you need to redline and feel like you're going to faint and go to absolute capacity. Of course not. But a few times a week, towards the end of a workout, you should be pretty damn tired, depending on what you're doing. Something as simple as bicep curls. If you see bicep curls as an easy exercise, we can make it a challenging exercise in a heartbeat. Let's swap out the dumbbell that's in your hand. If you see something, if you're a gym member here, think about this. If you're listening to this podcast right now, and you know that there are some exercises that are easier than others, challenge me. Walk up to me and ask me, hey, how can I make this harder? And I promise we can do it. Whether it's increasing the weight, whether it's changing range of motion. Lunges is a good example. If you can just knock out a bunch of lunges, we can do lunges from a bench. So where you're increasing that range of motion, we can add some weight, throw some dumbbells on there, add a medicine ball, you name it, okay? Different things we can do if your cardio is really good. So burpees are kind of a piece of cake for you, which is pretty rare. We can do some skater burpees. We can do side hop burpees. We can do burpee tuck jumps. The sky's the limit for fitness. That's the best part, and we can always make it harder. Nothing really should be a breeze as you go through. Yes, some movement, not all movements are created equal. A thruster is way more harder. Great English, Evan. A lot harder than a jumping jack. But to some people, that's not the case. Some people, the jumping action and the moving is more bothersome to knees and gets the heart rate going more than squatting and pressing. So it's all different. You have what challenges you, but find yourself taking advantage of your time and knowing that picking up heavier weight is not going to just magically, you're going to wake up one day looking like the Incredible Hulk. Trust me. Obviously, that's not the case. I've been lifting heavy for years now. You seen these arms? You seen them? I wear layers on purpose because I'm self-conscious. No, just kidding. But I'm living proof. You don't accidentally wake up with these giant biceps and all these beautiful show muscles. It takes a ton of work and commitment. And certain people, if you're talking about being up on a stage and all that kind of stuff, it might take a little bit more, hint, hint, illegal substances, to have some bodies that we see. Don't be naive to that. I was naive to that for a long time. I remember working out at gyms next to people, and they would just blow me away at workouts, and I would just leave discouraged. I'd be like, man, how come this person, he's smaller than me, he's this, he's that, and then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I see him, and he's like absolutely shredded, and he's like back squatting like almost twice as much as he was 3 months ago, and I'm like, dang, this guy is really putting in the work. His diet must be perfect. Hey, Ev, there was some stuff going on that I find out years later. that was far away from here. Don't worry, Core 4 members. That is not something that is welcome inside of these walls or something that anyone does around here. But point is, the big, crazy bodies, this thing that it's not just from working out a lot, okay? It's a manageable body. You see somebody, I'm not saying everybody who's shredded is doping or anything crazy like that. Of course not. But there's a distinct difference in the way human bodies would look and the ones that have had aid and help. So be mindful of that. The reason I mentioned that, ladies, you're not going to get huge, giant arms and shoulders simply from picking up a little heavier weight throughout your sets. Actually, what you're going to be doing is breaking down your muscles more, so you're going to be toning up more because you're going to be stripping away the fat all around. Just like what happens with our core, what happens with our booty, what happens with our quads, it's going to happen with those arms and triceps. So don't be afraid of it. All right, I'm rambling. It's been 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to finish this coffee and go watch my son for a long period of time today. Love you guys. Bye-bye.